Now, if this seems like a long video, I made it this way. You're going to see, I'm going to cut it down. You're going to miss out a lot of my waiting and everything else, but, you know, I'm showing you the whole thing. Everything I've been running across. I planned, but I didn't plan because, you know what? Nobody tells you on these parts. They, oh yeah, this is the right part, but you get in there and it's not the right part. That's what's so disgusting about this. So hopefully I'm saving a lot of people a problem here by showing you what you actually need, vice what the parts stores are telling you should get, because they're giving you basically bum dope. That's the only way I can say it. Bum dope. They're not helping you. They're causing you more pain and suffering than anything else, just because of, I don't know, the system is incompetent, I guess. You know, and sometimes the clerks don't pay attention. They don't care. They just want to make the sale sometimes, I think, too. But, you know, we could all save each other a lot of time if they actually had correct information. So, that's my rant. But, anyway, Mercy Girls, as a rule, opted out of my endeavors today. She wanted to go out and partake in summer festivities, so what am I gonna say? I'm her dad, I gotta let her have fun. And to her, sometimes this is really boring, and she just waits around and watches me work. So, that being said, she's out having fun today. I'm doing this, and I'm frustrated with it anyway, so I know she would be. But we're going to start putting everything back together. I'm going to clean up the laptop and everything off of here, and then we're going to reset, and we're going to start putting the intake manifold back on. First things first, we got to remember how we put this thing back in as we took it out. And of course, we have to remember to put the PCV back into place first before we start hooking and mounting anything else, because you got to be able to reach back there and get to it. So now the hard part is, once we get it out, we take out our rags and pieces here, trying to keep everything clean. Hopefully we don't drop anything down in there, and then we maneuver everything back into place. Now, goes in, throttle body part first, get that around into the back. I remember how we did it. And of course, you have to maneuver it back around to the position in which you want it to be, which can be rather difficult. Getting it over everything. Hoses, bolts, of course, catch on everything in your wiring harness. Just maneuvering it to get it back down in there. Which, like I said, is a wee bit on the difficult side. Once you get it down in here, then of course, there you go. And then you got to get back down in here and get this PCV part clip back in. There you go. You can reach it. You can reach from around behind there, and it snaps right in. So once you get it in there, then you can actually start positioning everything back to where it needs to be. And then of course, try to hand tighten everything back in as much as possible. use this extension to get me a little further, a little quicker. Now there's a torque sequence you have to go to put these back on, and of course we're going to do that here once I get everything hooked back up, for the most part, to that part. So, but right now, I got the hose in there, and of course I got this hose right here that I got to put back on. Of course I got to get the pliers to do that. Pliers on here so I can slide that back on. Got that back on over here. Of course, right on top of the throttle body, I got this, of course, air hose here connected. Vacuum, I guess, is what it is. And then now I got everything here. Now I got to do the bracket bolt that goes onto the bottom. Try not to lose this. We're going to reach our hand down in here and get this thing started by hand. Because I'm afraid to drop it. Oh man, that's hard. That is hard down there, folks. That is hard to reach. It's a tough spot. And whatever's down there is sharp. There we go. Oh, that is hard on the hands back there. But we do have it. So we can go ahead and tighten that back up. Tightened up. Definitely not a good place to reach, but we got the bracket. I think we got it tight enough now. There we go. Got that on there. That was a son of a gun down there. I know I showed you guys the picture of it before, but that bolt down there, right down there, that bracket right down the bottom of that manifold to the left, just by the manifold corner there in the back, that's what I had to put on there, and it's hard to get at. So that is done. Now we're going to go ahead and start putting together a few other things. We'll go in there like so. This of course is your return for your radiator overflow. And let's see, course, this is the evap. And it goes right on here like that over top of there, so I guess we can put that on there. But I'll have to wire that back up in there so it don't come out, because I broke it. But hey, now we're going to go to the throttle body install. Again, folks, you remembered I took and cleaned it nice and clean on both sides. It was relatively dirty, so we're going to go ahead and reinstall the throttle body back into position. And I believe it went just like this. And our throttle body will be then bolted back up. And start everything, of course. Get everything going in here that we're supposed to. Yeah, I was going to do this in my driveway at home, but I'm glad that I came here, because there's been issues that I've run across that I didn't have the tools for. And of course, working right here, I do have the tools for them. So do the tightening, alternating. Not sure what the torque specs are on this, but we're not going to go real tight on them. We'll go snug. Don't think we'll end up with any problems doing it that way. They feel about the way they were when I took them off. So there they are. Got that done. Got that hooked up. Now we got to take and hook up some wires. Of course, got to make sure we get them on there correctly. Snapped in, clipped. Can't remember how this one went in. Let's see if it goes that way. No. See if it goes this way. Yep, there we go. Snap that one in. Of course, quite sure what we did here. Had to pry something. So I'm going to assume that went right up there like so. And this went right in here like so. Keep everything stationary. Then of course we got the big bolt here. Now I got to figure out the torque spec on this. I do want to do this the right way on the manifold, but I'll make it snug and I'll review what has to be done. But got that on there. And we want to take hose clamp. Slide that down all the way. For some reason I have a hard time with these things. I don't know if the rest of you do, but I do. There we go. That's back down on there like it's supposed to be. Got everything plugged in there. Goes back in there. That's on there. Got that wire hooked up. Got that one hooked up. That's hooked up. That's on there. Okay. What else do we got? Doesn't look like we got anything else on that aspect of it. Just double checking everything. I got to do the torquing now. I'm going to torque everything down, and then of course we got the breather tube and everything to put back on, and the air filter and everything like that. I'm not putting the covers back on the engine. I'm leaving it this way. I'll live with whatever noise comes out of the engine. I'm just not one to like covers. Besides that, the mice are eating it, so I might as well just get rid of it. But I'm just going to leave the engine this way. My other engine had no problems without a cover on it, so I'm going to assume this engine can handle it without a cover. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to start taking and putting everything back together and tightening up the manifold and everything so we can get that taken care of. And then put the air breather on, and then we're going to, of course, going to see if it does work, if it runs. And that will be the deciding factor whether or not I did a good job. Okay folks, this is how I'm going to torque it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to torque it down, but this is the torque spec as you're looking at the engine.
MercyGirl Production.
And of course it is 89 foot-pounds, and then 1/8 of a turn more, basically, 45 degrees more after you torque it down to the 89 foot-pounds. So they said 45 degrees, and you know that's half of a quarter turn. So gonna go ahead and torque these down and get them started. The rules go. This is the first one right here that we're going to torque down. We're going to torque them all a little bit tighter. Before we get to that point. Down there just a little bit better. That one, wherever it went, there it is. It's a tough one to get to. There we go. There. Okay, Now we're going to start with number 1. There we go. It's number 1. This is the big one, number 2. There we go. Number 3 is back here. Number 4. Okay. Number 5 is right here. That's torqued down. And of course number 6 is this hard one right here. Got that done. So number 7 is the last one. Now we're supposed to do 1/4 or 1/2 of 1/4 turn. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Starting with number 1. Torque it down just a little bit more, and then we'll go to number 2. Torque that down, then go to number 3. Got that one. Number 4. There we go. Number 5. Got it that. Number 6, which is the hard one again. Got that one. And then last but not least, number 7. There we go. We have got them all done. We got everything torqued down to spec. What I got to do, of course, is hook up the rest of air cleaner and everything, breather, and then of course this here. Double checking everything. Everything is, of course, the way it's supposed to be, plugged in, double checking all our connections. Oh, I do have to do this here yet. I broke it, so I got to go fix it. So I'm going to show you how to fix that. I broke the clips on the evap. So, what I'm going to do is take and zip tie evap to the back so that it stays in place. So the goal is to run this zip tie around the back of the hose and to pull it up against itself for it to act like a clip. So it's holding it in place. That's virtually all I did. So I just zip tied it right here. Just put the zip tie right on it just to hold it in place. It's still got the gasket and everything in there. It just the clip that holds it was damaged when I took it off, so I just go ahead and do a zip tie fix on it and call it a day. But we'll go ahead and clip that back in. Now my evap is in place, held on with a zip tie. Easy enough to take it off when I have to. I didn't put it on there real tight so it won't break anything, but it is on there nice and snug. Wires are all hooked up, hoses, double checking all my hoses. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my pins back in here. These just snap back in. We'll get one, and I'll put a K&N in one for A. Kirby's sake, because I know how much he loves K&N. He is a fanatic on K&N, people. Go to the website, my Ford Edge forum, and ask A. Kirby about K&N air filters, because he is a monster for those things. You wouldn't believe it. He is like crazy about them. But we put our breather back on here. It just clips right in. Snap. Hose we got to hook up right here. Hook that up. The breather is hooked up down below. Air filter is snapped in. All we got to do is tighten up the seat on there. Throttle body seated on there, then we can tighten the clamp back up. That nice and snug. And then the moment of truth, of course, is coming. Now, when I fire this back up, being I disconnected the battery and I messed around with the throttle body, might have a few running issues, I don't know. But, just so you know, then we got to get our math sensor hooked back up again, of course. Again, snap that back in place. Put the clip back on the top, snap that in, and then I think we're pretty well there. Everything's back in place. Again, I'm not putting the cover back on this thing. I'm not messing with that. Not gonna do it. So, this is how the engine's looking, folks. I am not going to put the cover back on. Quite frankly, this is a mess. All it is rubber. You can do with what you want. You can say it makes it quieter. You know what? I'm not into quieter as far as that goes. I want to make sure the engine runs, the engine cools. I never had this on the 08, so I'm just going to go with it without it. I'll put it in the garage. If I notice a difference or an issue, I'll have it to put back on. But I'm not going to go through this mess. I'm just going to run her topless, as you might say. So can't stand to see a topless engine, and just look away. We got to do the battery. We got to hook the battery back up. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Of course, hooking the battery up takes a 10 millimeter, I think it is. Yep, 10 millimeter. So we'll get that all hooked back up. There we go. And now we got the battery hooked back up, and might as well just double check all these to make sure they're good. Well, folks, this is the moment of truth. Everything's hooked up. I don't know that I missed anything. I'm going to go ahead and start her up.
This is a MercyGirl Production.
Wow, that is a smooth running engine, folks. Well, I went ahead and got everything done. Of course, I couldn't get some of the parts replaced that I really wanted to replace, like the PCV. Wrong part. Got to make sure you know what they did. Learn from my lesson. Ask for the part that you need, because the dealers or even the auto places are not going to give you the right part unless you know what you're looking for. So hopefully this video helps you when you want to do it so you get the right parts. Also the gaskets, they don't come in a plastic laminated pouch. When they come in a box, they gave you the wrong parts. They are a one-piece gasket that all pulls out and put it together, and you all put it back in together. Again, sold me the wrong parts. So there's twice.
This is a MercyGirl Production.
I'm not really confident anymore of the parts being the right ones until I see them for sure. But whatever you do, you want to make sure you get the right parts. Either way, I did get the throttle body cleaned. It was definitely needed. I got the endoscopy done on the cylinder so we can see what's going on inside. It didn't look too bad. Check the spark plugs, check the valves, the intake valves, and things like that. So everything